I'm here at the Autosport International Show with ex-F1 driver and now part of MSV, Jonathan Palmer. So Jonathan, you've just announced a partnership between Pirelli and the BRDC F4 Championship. Excited?
Yes, very excited indeed. I've been delighted with the way that our BRDC F4 Championship has developed. It really has proven to be an absolute revelation for young drivers. It's been the most affordable, the most equal new single-seater championship for decades, quite honestly, and the proof of it being such a great proving ground for drivers is that George Russell, who won the championship, went on to win the McLaren Autosport BRDC award, which is the most prestigious young driver award in the country. So it's a great championship. Clearly, like anything else, we need to move it forwards each year. Tyres are a very important part of any motor racing championship, and we've been looking to evaluate new possibilities, and I'm delighted that one of the most prestigious tyre brand, Pirelli, when we tested their tyre that was suitable for these cars, was absolutely outstanding. I think it was a little bit quicker than the tyre we had before. What was particularly important is it's very consistent, which means that as the tyre is used over many, many laps, the lap time that it can do is stable, which means that it's a very good for young drivers when they want to try changing things on the car. When they make pit stops, they come back out again and they can see what the difference is from the component change, not from the tyres changing their performance. So that's been all very good, and Pirelli are very conscious of making the tyres affordable too. So we've been able to maintain 2014 prices, and of course it'll help the drivers lead into for GP3, GP2, and then ultimately Formula One careers with gaining experience on Pirelli tyres at our BRDC F4 level.
Brilliant. Okay. Now the BRDC F4 Championship, of course, was formed started at its inaugural season in 2013, rather, I should say. How do you think it's progressed since then?
Oh, it's been an outstanding success. The championships that existed before then, Formula Ford and Formula Renault, got increasingly expensive. The teams leading teams had escalated the cost, which is something I suppose they would want to do. I mean, they're very competent teams, but the cost got higher and higher. The number of teams that could compete got fewer and fewer until they both basically fizzled out, really. Whereas we've been very, very careful with our BRDC F4 Championship to have regulations that mean that not only is the car cheap to buy, cheap to run, but also it's very difficult for any team to get any big advantage, and a driver can run with a number of different teams and win races. So that philosophy has worked extremely well, and there were 6 drivers who could have won the championship going into the last event in 2014. I suspect it'll be similar this year, and all of which means that the person that wins the championship is going to be an outstanding talent that people need to watch for the future. And teams higher up the field or higher up the categories around global motorsport racing will see that and value the drivers and be keen to give good deals to our champions in the future. So it's been all very exciting, and I'm delighted that we've revolutionised junior single-seater motor racing, and we'll continue to do so.
I'm sure you will. Also want to talk about your son Jolyon, of course, GP2 champion of 2014, also on Pirelli tyres. So he's come a long way, of course. What's the plan for Jolyon for 2015?
Yeah, I must say I'm extremely proud of Jolyon and delighted for him. He's done an outstanding job in 2014, winning the GP2 Championship, the first Briton to do so since Lewis Hamilton, and clearly he wants to be in Formula One and this year. And I'm pretty sure he'll have a Formula One contract. Probably be not as a full race driver, but doing some free practice 1 sessions and as a test driver. In the course of this year, and then ultimately, well, not just ultimately, but in 2016, the objective is to become a full-time full-time Formula One race driver. So, he's a great talent. He's really proved it in GP2. He's been very dominant, and hopefully he'll get the opportunities he deserves moving forward.
Hopefully so. And I was actually at a recording of at Sky Sports of the Tales from the Vault, the 1984 season, back in October, I believe it was, where you were there. And you were saying about how you had to raise sponsorships to drive for the Ram team in 1984, which of course was your inaugural season. Would you say it's even more difficult in the modern day and age?
Yes, I think it is, and I think it's more difficult mainly because the level of funding that needs to be raised has just escalated massively. To get into Formula One as Formula 2 champion in 1984, I had to take £250,000 to the team, the Ram team I drove for. That today, I mean, that was hard enough to find. but that today is less than $1 million still, even today's money. Now you'd need at least 5, potentially 10 times that to get in a Formula One car. Even if unless you're in a scheme like the Red Bull scheme, but to be honest, even with that, I think drivers in the Red Bull scheme are still expected to bring some funding with them to get their drives too. So, yeah, it is tougher because the level of funding has escalated hugely. What's a little bit of a help is that the level of awareness of Formula One is probably even greater now than it was then. But overall, that doesn't make up for the increased funding.
Brilliant. Well, Jonathan, thank you for taking the time to chat to us.
Thank you.